tax brackets for for the for fucking for next year. Anyway, we're live with another episode of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. I'm joined by one of the usual suspects. Sir, introduce yourself. All right, glad to have you. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. With that being said, before we go any further, what you been playing? Playing with that? Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. I have been playing Puzzle Quest Immortal Edition, which is basically like, for those of you who don't know, Puzzle Quest is made by D3 publishers, and it's basically they take, how can I put this? Um, they take the Bejeweled format, but apply an RPG skin to it. So you have levels, classes, skills, all that type of shit, and you fight monsters like classic D&D style monsters. It's actually it's actually a fairly good game. I like it a lot, and I've been playing the shit out of that. Really, I'm just biding my time until the end of this month, and um, Outer Worlds 2 comes out. That's the game I'm waiting on. I'm like, man, that game is gonna that game is gonna be the shit. And you know, I love I mean I man I'm an Obsidian fanboy, so y'all know good and hell well that once this game comes out, I'm gonna lose my shit. All right, and you know this, man. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, man, yeah. So yeah, that's the big thing I've been doing. I'm just like, man, I'm just holding out until the Outer Worlds 2 comes out. That's the thing where I'm just like, man, when this shit comes out, I'm gonna be having some fun. But any games coming out this year that you're looking forward to, or are you all just all in on your music? Mm. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you got to do that. You got to play different shit with different things going on. you know, yeah, that the issue is that so many people are afraid to play games that are go against the mold or are different. That it's nice when or those games don't get rewarded for trying new things. Because heaven forbid you come out with something that isn't random white guy with a 5 o'clock shadow running around doing shit. Because I'm telling you right now, I am personally getting tired of random white guy with a 5 o'clock shadow playing video games. That shit gets old really fucking quickly. You know, it's like, hey guys, we're gonna play. This is a new game. Okay, cool. What's the hook? It's a random white guy with a 5 o'clock shadow, voiced by Nolan North. It's like it always is. It's either Nolan North or who's the other one? Troy Baker. Yeah, Troy Baker. I'm like, God damn, can we get some new? it's like I know you guys don't want to really try all that hard or do anything new or different because heaven forbid you do anything new or different. But can we get some like there are so many voice actors that you could get because there's a whole damn guild of voice actors. You can get new people. It doesn't always have to be Nolan North or Troy Baker. Not that I have anything against Nolan North or Troy Baker. I'm just saying there's there's other yeah. It's like remember when they started when they started putting what's his name? They started putting fucking Chris Pratt and everything. And it got to the point where it was just like I'm tired of looking at Chris Pratt. Like he's not that good of an actor and I'm not really, I'm not feeling it. And people are like, "Yeah, but it's Chris Pratt." I'm like, "I don't care. I'm tired of Chris Pratt." Okay? Yeah, they were putting him in every goddamn thing. I was like, Jesus, I'm tired of Chris Pratt. Before Chris Pratt, it was who was the other guy they were putting in everything? Pedro Pascal. Like they're putting Pedro Pascal in every fucking thing. I'm like, look, I like you, Pedro Pascal, but fuck, could you go away so I can miss you? Yeah, it's dry. It's not even powdered milk. There's nothing coming out. Just dust. And I'm like, I can't take this shit anymore. Y'all need to do something different. Please, for the love of God, do something different. For the love of all things holy, give us now. I mean, even Marvel's doing this. Like they brought back Robert Downey Jr. to play Doctor Doom, and I'm like, do we really need? Like, I like Robert Downey Jr. He played the main character one of my favorite movie satires of all time, Tropic Thunder, where he played Kurt Lazarus, the guy, like the guy who took method acting too way too goddamn far, like to the point where he didn't even realize he wasn't a black guy. Like that was and here's the thing. Look, I am praising a guy, an actor, a white actor for being in blackface. Okay, that's how good of a role he played. That he was in blackface, and I'm not even mad about it because I realized he was not picking on. It wasn't there to be disparaging to black people. It was there to. It was making fun of method actors who take method too goddamn far. That was the joke. Like that whole movie. That whole movie. Like it really did make a statement about Hollywood. Because you notice after that movie came out, remember how they had those films with like the people, the special needs people. You know, they stopped making those movies for a while. Like they haven't made any since. You want to know why? Because Tropic Thunder called them out. you know, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Hey man, hey man, don't go full retard. Hey, don't do it, man. don't do it. Yeah, man. And they stopped doing that. They stopped. Noticed after they did that, they stopped making those damn movies where they were like, I'm a special needs person, but my life is hard too, and but I also have powers because of my special needs. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But anyway, enough about that. Let's get to this first topic. Let's see, what are we looking for? Blah, 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 blah. Now, if you're my age or Kenoshi's age, you may remember a franchise way back in the day called Breath of Fire. It was basically Capcom's answer to Square Enix's, or back then Squaresoft's Final Fantasy. Breath of Fire didn't have the production budget or polish of a Final Fantasy, but within and of itself, it was a fairly decent RPG series, and it trundled along for 5 games. The first game had a reverse difficulty curve where the beginning of the game is really hard, and then once, like, with every new party member you get, the game gets easier. Like, the beginning of the game is, like, the bosses take a lot of hits, and even when you take them down, the bosses have a guts factor like you do, so they stand up and they get more health. like it's like a sliver of health, and they keep on fighting. It's like, what the fuck? And then they basically, but as the first game went along, as you got more party members and you unlocked new skills and abilities, the game got so easy. By the end of the game was just like you were steamrolling everything. Even the final boss was a joke at the end of Breath of Fire. Um, it was a little problematic. Like the world's greatest thief in the OG original Breath of Fire game, named Karn, in the Japanese version, is a black guy, and they just recolored him in the U.S. and UK versions of Breath of Fire. So yeah, it's a little problematic these days. But overall, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, overall, not that bad of a game. Now, Breath of Fire 2 is better, in my opinion. Breath of Fire 2 takes it addresses the issues of the first game and brings the second game up to code. Except for one small problem, they rushed the game out, so the damage calculations for your main character's dragon transformations are fundamentally broken. No, well, in the first game, your character's a full on member of the Dragon Clan. He's full blooded. In the second game, your character's half dragon, half human. So his transformations use all of his magic, and it's like a magic spell where he turns into a dragon, attacks, and then goes back. And your first transformations are elemental attacks. So basically, instead of like enemies who have elemental weaknesses taking extra damage from your elemental attacks, it's always base damage based upon how much MP you use for the attack. So if you're playing as a whelp, which is like a newly hatched baby dragon, basically, the attack is always going to do 512 damage. If you're playing as, no matter, even if the enemy has elemental weakness to that attack, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's fundamentally broken. Like, in order to really enjoy Breath of Fire 2, you have to play it with mods. Like, you have to, like, where it's been fixed to basically have the proper damage calculations for your main character. But overall, it's still a really good game. It had the township portion where you basically went around and recruited people to come back to your destroyed town and build it up. And depending on who you recruited, that would basically change like what stores, what little skills and abilities you had in the town. It was actually kind of nice. Breath of Fire 3 came out on the PlayStation, and it took the best parts of 1 and 2, combined them in Breath of Fire 3. Breath of Fire 4 is where they really started cheapening out on the franchise. The story is really interesting, but goodbye overworld. The overworld is you going across a map as a little figurine, Super Mario World style. Not very. For RPGs of that era, you wanted that massive open world to explore and do shit. You know what I mean? Discover things. And yeah, you have random battles, but I mean, that was part of the allure of the experience. But then they did Breath of Fire 5. Breath of Fire 5 killed this franchise. Breath of Fire 5 Dragon Quarter was some bullshit. That's the game where basically no overworld map. Every time your character transforms into a dragon, it lowers the time you have to beat the game, so you're kind of incentivized not to use your powers. And yeah, it was one of those. And it was just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, and it killed the franchise. Like, they stopped making them after this. The last Breath of Fire game, aka Breath of Fire 6, was a fucking mobile game that Capcom just shat out. Yeah, they just shat it out. They shat it out and then shut it down after 2 months. Yeah, they were like, "Oh, it's a new Breath of Fire." Oh no, this is just some bullshit. And people were like, "Well, fuck you then." Basically, yeah, that's what people were like, "Well, fuck you then." So the reason I went through that little history is just to simply say this: Breath of Fire is a classic Capcom game. Since an RPG, like turn-based RPGs, are having a resurgence with games like Clair Obscura, 23, shit like that. Um, so, what do you think? Do you think Capcom needs to bring back Breath of Fire, and how would you do it? That'd be cool. Like they just remake the first three games in a new engine. Keep the art style, because it was always the art style was always kind of like pseudo 3D open world when you're outside of towns and villages, and with cell shaded characters. So you could do a reimagination of that in a modern engine. You just would have to put some money into it, which Capcom's flush with cap. They got fucking Monster Hunter's been making money hand over fist. They could allocate some of that money to that shit. But yeah, I agree. That's what I would do. But you know that's my own personal opinion. Anyway, yeah. So the verdict is Breath of Fire is fucking amazing. Why haven't they made a new one? Um, I mean, I was a fan of the franchise up until five. I'm not a huge fan of four because I thought the design of the dragons was kind of. They went from having like traditional European style dragon designs for the dragons to like this weird fucking Evangelion looking shit, and I'm like, this is ugly as shit. Yeah, I said it. The Evangelion Evas are the angels are ugly as shit. Those are some of the ugliest monsters I've ever seen. And I don't mean ugly as in, oh man, that's badass. I mean like these aren't aesthetically pleasing to look at or even awe-inspiring. So yeah. Um anyway, yeah. Next. So, as you guys may or may not know, in the sixth gen, there were a lot of GTA clones coming out. A lot of them. Okay? Simpsons Hit and Run, GTA clone. Um, Mercenaries, 1 and 2, Hitman, GTA clone. Uh, Mafia, GTA clone. uh, even what's that game from Square Enix these days, where you like play a secret agent going around trying to liberate shit? I forget. It's this game from that Square Enix publishes where you play like a secret agent who goes to some fictional country and tries to liberate it, and it involves you having these wild ass vehicles and gadgets and shit. It'll come to me, but that started as a GTA clone. What I'm saying is the sixth gen was the dawn of GTA clones. Okay, Driver was a GTA clone initially. So what I'm saying is there were a lot of GTA clones. Godfather, the Godfather part 1 and 2, the GTA clones. Okay, I had the Black Hand. Well, I don't know why I'm using past tense. I have the Wii version of Godfather Black Hand Edition, where you use motion controls to execute people. It's kind of fun. I'm not. I'm gonna tell you, you haven't lived until you've used a black hand execution, where you've rolled a baker, by scaring the fuck out of him that you're gonna throw his ass into his own oven if he doesn't pay the vig. I mean, you don't do it. You just want to scare him so he pays the money. Anyway, some GTA clones were great, some were terrible. One of the good ones was GTA was Scarface. The World Is Yours, where it basically was an alternate reality version of Scarface, where essentially Tony Montana isn't murdered, isn't killed by Sosa's men at the end of the game, and he manages to escape, rebuild, and try and get all his shit back. And yeah, yeah, it was a GTA clone that was actually fairly good. You know, like because like I said, GTA clones could kind of waffle between being this is some bullshit. Like I mean, even now there are GTA clones that are bullshit. Like those fucking what are those what are those hacker games that Ubisoft released? you know what I'm talking about. Those fucking you know what I'm talking about. Those fucking hacker games where the first one, like, you're supposed to feel sorry for the main character, but literally every bad thing that happens to him, he brought on himself. It's like, oh man, you want revenge for whatever. I'm like, you brought this shit on yourself, dude. Like, I don't feel sorry for you. I'm gonna look it up. I want to say it's called Black something. Here, let me look it up. Hacker game from Ubisoft. Let's see, GTA hacker game, and I have the damn game. No, no, that's not it. No, it's from Ubisoft. Yeah, like they delayed the game because they were like, oh shit, if this comes out at the same time as GTA 5, we're fucked because it's going to be compared to GTA 5 and our game sucks compared to GTA 5. Here, let me look it up. No, not Sleeping Dogs. Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs was a shitty GTA clone. Like, if you're like, I've spent some time trying to figure out why GTA clones, the good ones work and the shitty ones don't, and I figured it out. Three things that that good GTA games have, and if they hit two of these three marks, it's a good GTA clone. Number one, the driving has to be fun. Like, literally, getting in a car and driving around has to feel fun for you, the player. Okay. Now let's look at some good GTA clones. Okay. Simpsons Hit and Run is a good GTA clone. While you don't have a radio to listen to or anything like that in the game, just like the music from The Simpsons, driving around, driving the different vehicles, the different mechanics and physics of different vehicles, depending on how big they are, how small they are, what class they're in, makes driving fun. Okay. Number two, the side missions have to be memorable and enjoyable. Okay. All the good GTA clones have good side missions where it's like, oh, this is enjoyable. I like this shit. It's pretty cool. And number three, you have to have music. The radio stations in the game have to be listenable. Like, when you're driving around, you have to, like, literally be invested. Like, if you're sitting in your car driving around and you just chilling. Now, because GTA by and large has always had good music in their games. Now, Scarface has some pretty goddamn good music in the games. Uh, GTA San Andreas, not Scarface. I already said Scarface. Simpsons Hit and Run doesn't really have good music like radio stations, but it has the music from The Simpsons, and the music from The Simpsons is listenable, so it's good too. Now, if you have a GTA clone that doesn't have these three things, or at least two out of the three, it's going to be pretty bad. You know. Anyway, so yeah, so they're re-releasing that game, and I'm happy about it because I had that game on the Wii, and it was pretty goddamn fun. You know, having someone do a knockoff of Al Pacino as Scarface. All I got is my balls, man. Actually, I can't do it. It would sound kind of racist if I did it, so I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, him doing a shitty accent, an Italian man trying to sound like he's doing a shitty Cubano accent, Cubano American American accent. And I say this as someone who was born in Florida and used to live in Florida and visited Florida every year for many years. And I was like South Florida, which is, you have a lot of Cuban people there. No one sounded like that. Okay? No one sounded like Tony Montana. Okay? If you see someone saying they're from Cuba and they sound like Tony Montana, they're fucking with you. Okay? You filthy cockroach. Say hello to my little friend. Anyway, yeah. Here's how basic bitch you know a black person is. If you go to their house and they have posters of Scarface and The Godfather in their house, and they're like, "I'm so gangsta, son." They're basic bitch black people, and I'll tell you why. Because the mafia don't even like black people. So why the fuck are you putting their paraphernalia in your house? A group of people who don't like you. They don't like your black ass. Anyway, enough about that. So yeah, Scarface is coming back, and it's coming to Steam and Epic. Yeah, yeah. How you like them apples? I don't know how much it's gonna cost. I wish listed on Steam because I'll probably get it on PC. There was a little bit of controversy because apparently the game was released early in one market in off of the Epic Game Store, and it had a fan made mod added to it, which tells me they didn't have the original. Yeah, they didn't have the original. They didn't have the original code, which means they just ripped some shit off. And I'm like, okay, fine then. You ripped it off, but you couldn't have like gone through the code before you published the put the game out again. That's kind of stupid. I mean, the Epic's games is still a thing because of Fortnite. You know, yeah. When you have a fucking when you have a fucking you know when you have a cash cow like Fortnite, they can afford to fuck around with other things. Think of it like this, right? Let's say you have your main job, but then you have passive income being generated someplace else. Let's say you bought a condo, right? And and you paid it off, and then you rent it out. So you have the value you have the value that of it being paid off, which means that you don't have to put money into the mortgage anymore. Plus, you're renting it out. So and the future profit of, hey, I can sell this eventually and fucking get money like that. But you got your main job, so that's your main money. But then you got side money, which means you don't have to work as hard for your main job because it's like, yeah, I worked 30 hours this week, but I got 2,500 coming in, next week from the renters. And so it's like you can afford to be a little bit more like I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but yeah, so yeah, yeah. Um, but back to Scarface. Yeah, so Scarface is it's being re-released, but hopefully when it comes out, they will have not plagiarized people's code because that's fucked up. It's bad enough that people fucking do shit like that, but it's even worse that you're plagiarizing people's code. Let me see. It is EC Digital. Yeah. It originally came out in 2006, but trying to get that game to run now on modern consoles cuz there's a lot of old games that I've tried to get to run. I have them on Steam or like the actual physical things, and trying to get them to run on modern consoles is I mean modern PCs is a motherfucker. That's why, if you're into retro gaming, you need to go look at what's it called? You need to go look and bow at the altar of GOG because they're getting old games to run on new shit. Anyway, speaking of shit, EA that a segue for your ass? EA. So the former Battlefield 6 campaign boss calls out EA for leaving him and other developers out of the credits after closing his studio in 2024. Marcus Leto founded Ridgeline Games in 2021 to develop the narrative campaign for the next Battlefield, but the studio was shuttered before the game arrived. Former Bungie long-timer Mark Leto. What the fuck? Okay, they just published this thing. God damn, does anyone actually... They misspelled his name and said March, but it's Marcus. Marcus Leto, the art director on the original Halo games, among others, launched a new studio at EA in 2021 called Ridgeline Games, with the express purpose of developing a narrative campaign for the next Battlefield game, the recently released Battlefield 6, as it turns out. But it didn't work out. A few years later, he left EA. Shortly after that, EA laid off the entire team and closed the studio. Leto said at the time that he was incredibly upset and very sad about the layoffs and closure, adding that he didn't have anything positive to say about EA in the wake of his departure. And now with Battlefield 6 out in the wild, EA has let him down even further. I'm disappointed to see that many of my former teammates from Ridgeline Games were not properly credited in the recent release of Battlefield 6, Leto wrote on LinkedIn. These talented developers worked tirelessly for 1 to 2.5 years, building the foundation of the game before I left voluntarily and the studio was subsequently shuttered. Despite their significant contributions, most who were laid off were relegated to a special thanks section at the very end of the credits, and several were omitted entirely, including myself. Sounds like there was some saltiness going on there, Mr. Leto. Ironically, Leto had previously appeared to hold no grudge about his previously unhappy split with EA. In a separate message posted a week ago, when Battlefield 6 launched, he wrote, "Huge congratulations to all my colleagues involved around the globe in shipping this immense title. I know how much hard work went into it, and I wish you all the best." Properly crediting people for their work is a big deal in an industry as volatile as game development. Given how likely it is that developers will bounce between multiple studios over the course of their career, it's important to have a demonstrable record of past work. It's also something the game industry seems to struggle with, which can also be attributed at least partly to the instability of the business. Some games have hundreds of people working on them over a period of several years, and it can be tough to stay on top of everyone. Even the famously developer-first Larian whiffed on credits for Baldur's Gate 3 a couple of years ago. With EA having dropped the ball, Leto put together his own roll of Ridgeline developer credits, listing their names and roles as I would have preferred them to appear in the credits. Game development is a team effort, and every contributor deserves fair acknowledgement. It won't appear in the game unless EA opts to patch it in, but it's an important acknowledgement nonetheless. And you can take a look at it. I've reached out to EA for comment on the Battlefield 6 credits and will update if I receive a reply. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's EA. I mean, what do you expect? You know? EA fucking up and doing something shady is like saying, man, I let this crackhead in my house and they stole all my shit and pawned it. And yeah, it's like, I mean, at a certain point, you just got to blame yourself, man. So, you know how it is. Anyway, do you have any thoughts on this? Or are you just saying, it's just EA being EA? I mean, you're right. There's nothing else you can say except it's just EA being EA because they're dicks. Anyway, that being said, um, ugh. Let's move on to the next topic, which is Ubisoft. You know, we got to talk about the other shitty gaming publisher in the room. So Ubisoft has come up with a new way to avoid saying the word layoffs. With check this shit out. Voluntary career transition program. What do you think about that? Yeah, the new name, instead of saying they're laying people off, they say we have our employees doing a voluntary career transition program. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not hungry. I'm just suffering an involuntary hunger cramps. Mm. I'm not broke. I'm suffering from temporary and involuntary cash flow, reverse cash flow impediment. Yeah, I'm not. Look, I'm not getting paid due to the shutdown, and yet still working. I'm suffering from an involuntary temporary cash flow impediment. Yeah, George Carlin has a whole bit about it. No, no, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. George Carlin. No, sorry, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. You know, if I walk in on my wife fucking another dude, I don't want her to say, "Look, listen, you're no good in bed, and I wanted some new, you know what." I'm instead having a I'm having a crisis of conscience where I find my needs not being met by whatever movements and swayment and sways and abilities that you have. Therefore, I find myself looking for an alternate stream of affection that doesn't involve my mater my matrimonial unit. It's like, for real? For real? I would rather her tell me that than just say, "You're no damn good. Get the fuck away from me." It's like, what? But anyway, yes. At this point, I'm just like, I'm like, look, listen. If you're gonna fire people, write them a glowing ass fucking review so they can go someplace else. All right? Um, don't do what they've been doing. But that's the world we've been living in, you know. We've been. Oh fuck! You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Well, I was on the page for Ubisoft on PC Gamer, and they also had a thing for Plants vs Zombies Replanted. Do you know how much EA is charging for this a re-release of an old game? $20. Do you know how much the original PVZ costs on Steam right now? $5. Yeah. I mean, I could see $15. 15 be like, okay, cool. 15, that's not that bad. Yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the next topic, sir? Yeah. Tell them that your services are no longer needed, and we're initiating the layoff process on numerous people. We will, however, give you a severance pay. Give these people a fucking severance pay. All right, and I don't mean like we'll give you the last. We'll give you a month or two of what would have been your paycheck. Give these people 6 months to a year, so that they have time to like do some shit. All right. And I don't want to hear, oh, that's expensive. Oh, let me put this. Every time these fuckers say they're doing a round of layoffs, the company's stocks bounce up because the fucking soulless, ass licking suits in the boardrooms are like, oh, we saved all this money firing all these people. Only to turn around a year or so later and have to hire more people because they got rid of their experienced staff. You know, Intel did the same thing. We're like, oh, we're going to get all these people, or was it IBM? It was no, I think it was IBM. We're going to get all we're going to use AI to do all this shit, and they fired like 6,000 people. And then it turns out that you need programmers to work on the AI, so they wound up hiring like 5,000 people. So they still didn't save money. It's like you people are dumb. You're dumb. You're fucking dumb. Yeah, they're just fucking dumb. They're just fucking dumb. They're dumb and they're looking for shortcuts. And here's the thing: very rarely are there actual shortcuts to success. All right. If you truly want to get success, you have to work for it or be prepared for it. But there's no such thing as a fail proof shortcut to success. So anyway, that's my opinion. I'm gonna keep it moving. Um, next, and this is some good news for those of us who are into PC gaming. The PC game show is coming back. Yeah, 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 yeah. So if you game on PC, it's coming back. It's going to be out Thursday, December 4th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 8 p.m. General Mountain Time. So, yeah. Folks, you got something to look forward to. Well, I mean, I don't really play on consoles that much these days. I recently went to Walmart for something because I was desperate. I think it was windshield wiper fluid because I was low, if not out, I believe. And I like where they keep the automotive parts is like two sections down from the electronics department. So like the way you walk in, like you walk down this big aisle with the food, and then you make a right, and then that's where you have to go to get to the automotive department, like on the other end, like a perpendicular right angle. And I passed, and I just walked through there, and I'm like, I looked through there real quick, and I saw that they had Switch twos in stock, so I might get one once my my involuntary temporary negative cash flow impediment is is fixed. Anyway, what do you think about that, Kanosh? Okay, I mean, I know you're really into PC gaming, so yeah. So are you? You know, yeah, I'll do it myself. I like I like I like PC. I like PC gaming. These days, I game more on PC than any other thing in my house. So aside from my smartphone, because when I'm at work, I can't pull my gaming PC out. So I game a lot on that shit. I mean, I don't do that, but I do bring my gaming laptop with me to work, but not for gaming, but because sometimes if they give me like a class, Like they'll have a class from like 5 to 9, and so well like 6:30 to 9. And so basically, if I get finished early, I'll just go and just work on a resume or write on a paper, work on a script. Yeah, like work on my short stories or in this case, long stories, stuff like that. Because God knows I don't want to deal with a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I have actually, but the thing is that at this point, with the amount of fiction I've written for my homebrew campaign that I've been working on for the last 20 plus years, it would be multiple books, and then I would have to figure out how to break it up and how to put that into novel form because right now it's like a world Bible where it's like, okay, here's the dictionary. I mean, here's the table of contents. If you wanted to know more about these certain areas, because I've put it, it's digitized at this point, which was a motherfucker because I had to go to my friend who has one of those rapid scan digitized scanners and scan like I want to say like 900-page binder. It took me 2.5 days, not nonstop, but like for like 3 hours at a time. It was a motherfucker, and my hand was hurting by the end of it. But I can basically, at any given time, I can just go and look shit up. It's actually pretty nice being able to just find shit easily like that. Because before, if I was playing a homebrew campaign with some friends, I'd have to open that shit up and try and find the shit. And that's a motherfucker. Now I can just look it up in the cloud. In the cloud! As they like to say, I can use the power of the cloud! The cloud! That's what it's really for. Anyway, anything else you want to add? We're at the portion where we do hot take and unpopular opinion. Anything else you want to add before we wrap things up? Yep. What, Adventure Time? Yeah, I kind of like the first two, 3 seasons of Adventure Time, and then I was like, I don't really give a fuck about this anymore because it just, I don't know, for some reason, no, it wasn't clicking with me. Yeah, you know, because I'm watching and I'm like, this is interesting, but it's not doing anything for me. You get what I'm saying? I mean, Princess Bubblegum is just, ugh. I mean, all of Adventure Time's origin is fucked up. Finding out how the world became the way it is fucked up. Finding how the Ice King became the Ice King is fucked up. Finding out how the Lich came about is fucked up. Everything about Adventure Time is like, this is some fucked up shit. Even Finn, like how is he like one of the last humans left? And then you find out how he's the last human left. It's like, God damn, this is fucked up. Yeah, Adventure Time is just fucked. Yeah, by and large, yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's why the Lich King is so fucked because he used magic to like try and like remember his wife and shit, and he turned into the Ice King. Yeah, and that's the Lich. But then the Ice King is like he literally became the Ice King because he couldn't deal with the boredom of being one of the last humans left. So he put that fucking crown on. Because when they like, I think there's an episode where they get the crown off of him and they reverse it, and he turns out to be a perfectly nice guy. It's like what? He's like a legit nice guy. It's like Jesus. Yeah, Simon Prechikov. Yeah, he's just a legit nice guy. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, so basically the Mushroom War. If I okay, I'm looking at it right now. The Mushroom War happened. It was a nuclear war. So basically, it's post-apocalyptic, and in order to stay alive, the guy put on a magic crown that basically made him survive post-apocalypse. It also made him cold and crazy, and he became the Ice King. Yeah, I do like the twist in Adventure Time that the whole time you're thinking that the main villain is the Ice King. Turns out the Ice King is not the main villain. He's just a villain. The main villain is the Lich. And he's even like even the Ice King's like shit. I can't fight that. He's like, look, man, I just like fucking with this kid and this dog, but this shit, Jesus, no, no, no. Mm. All right. I don't really have a free topic because, frankly speaking, I kind of already went on a tangent about the shit I would have done a free topic about. You know, the soft, the clouded language that people use to not tell the truth about how shit is fucked up. So, with that being said, let's uh, let's wrap it up. Anything you want to pimp out before we wrap things up, sir? All right. This is Mr. Red Fox, under proprietor BS Thank you for joining us. It's been a while. The only thing I have to pimp out is watch the channel, watch the channel, watch the channel. I was in the process of getting my new PC fixed up, but I'm having some temporary cash flow problems because I work for the federal government. Y'all can just look at the news and see how that's going. So with that being said, that's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, play your games, etc., etc.